What's going on, guys? Back with another Wizards video. Now today, I asked a question on Twitter. If you don't follow me at DTalks-A-Lot. I asked on Twitter, what were some Wizards predictions that you guys felt were going to happen or was possible? And I got some responses. Today I'm going to share those responses. Now we got a couple different, predictions, some team record, player accolades. We got a couple different things. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, our first prediction comes from @OTD_Andre. He said the Wizards will have 3 plus 40% shooters from 3. Now, that's a huge jump. Now, I know the Wizards did improve on their outside shooting this all season. Last season, they had 40% three-point shooters. If I had to guess on who those 3 would be, if they did get 40%, would be probably Bertans, Caldwell Pope, and Corey Kispert. If Corey Kispert played, consistent minutes, I would guess those would be the 3. Now, to go from no 40% three-point shooters to 3 in one season, that would be great for the Wizards. It really would be great. Now, I think that one's a little tough. I think that one's definitely a little tough, but I like the thinking. Our second prediction comes from @Walgreens fans. He says Kyle Kuzma will win Most Improved Player. And that's interesting because there's also another former Laker who got traded from the Lakers, got out of that Lakers limelight, etc., and they won Most Improved Player in 2020. And that player is Brandon Ingram. So, if we follow in the trend, it's very possible that Kyle Kuzma could have a very good year with the Washington Wizards in a new scene, on a new team, across the coast, and win himself a Most Improved Player. It's possible, man. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. I like that prediction. Our next prediction comes from @NBA Wizardry. He says the Wizards will be over 500 and make playoffs without having to play the play-in tournament. Now, if the Wizards are going to avoid the play-in tournament, that means at least they're going to be the 6th seed. And Wizardry believes that they're going to be over 500. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's a crazy prediction. If everything goes right and everybody stays relatively healthy, the team gels together, the offense is good, being coached by Wes Unseld Jr., the depth really shows out, and, the Wizards go from, in the past, being a top-heavy team to a more balanced team throughout the roster, I think it's very possible that the Wizards could make at least the 6th seed to avoid the play-in game and be over 500. I've said it in my last video. It's only a couple teams that I think are just firmly above the Wizards. And you can say the Bucks, the Nets, and the Heat. I said the 76ers, but they're in turmoil right now. So I like this prediction too. I don't think that's too crazy of a prediction right there. Our next prediction comes from @3Zoostris. He says, play-in tournament team again. Bradley Beal, 3rd team All-NBA. Dinwiddie, All-Star appearance if healthy. And Kyle Kuzma will be in the 6th Man of the Year discussion if he comes off the bench. Now, a lot of points were made in this tweet. Now, if the Wizards are a play-in team again, I don't know if he means play-in team as in they were in that 7th, 8th seed range and they got to fight, or they were in that 9th, 10th range again and they trying to get in that way. I definitely think the Wizards are trying to get out of that play-in range. I think it will be looked at by the organization as, a letdown if they were a play-in team again. Like I said, the Wizards are improved, and the rest of the East and a couple of the badder teams, worser teams last year in the East have improved as well. So it's very possible that the Wizards could still be a play-in team again this season. Now, Bradley Beal, 3rd team All-NBA. That would be back-to-back 3rd team All-NBAs for Bradley Beal. It's very possible that he gets to that 3rd team All-NBA spot, especially if he's 2nd in the league in scoring again and just going crazy. It's very possible because, I mean, he's a highly respected player. He was an all-star starter last year. So it's very possible that he gets that third All-NBA team vote again. And then you got Spencer Dinwiddie, all-star appearance if healthy. Now, the last time Spencer Dinwiddie was healthy, he had a very good year. He had a pretty good year with the Nets. Now, I don't believe he's never been an all-star in his career, so this will be his first all-star appearance. So I would think in order for Beal and Spencer to get into the all-star game, because I'm assuming Bradley Beal is going to be there, the Wizards are going to have to play very good ball. And I don't know if Spencer makes an appearance in the all-star game along with Beal if the Wizards are in that play-in type 500, a little bit below 500. I think the Wizards are going to have to be pretty good, or doing very good going into that All-Star break for Spencer to get that All-Star appearance. And then finally, Kyle Kuzma, 6th man of the year if he comes off the bench. I think that's very possible. I definitely do think that's very possible for him to get that 6th man of the year off the bench. I mean, it'll have some competition there. Bertans coming up. I don't know who's going to be the 6th man, if he is the 6th man. I would think if he's coming off the bench, he would be. I mean, Davis Bertans could very much well be the 6th man coming off. But Kyle Kuzma has the skill. He has the potential to definitely be the 6th man coming off the bench for the Wizards. To be in contention for it, I can get with that. I can agree with that. So, our next prediction comes from @TheMose. He says, Rui Hachimura and Daniel Gafford, all defensive team consideration with once Unseld Jr.'s coaching. Now, that would be huge because we all know how the Wizards struggle on defense. And Rui Hachimura actually wasn't too bad on defense last year. And Daniel Gafford came in the trade deadline and gave the team a defensive boost. He blocked shots. He was energized down there in the paint. He was a force. He wasn't Rudy Gobert or Joel Embiid down there, but all defensive consideration would be a huge jump defensively for the team and for those two players in general. Now, I don't know how realistic that is, but with Wes Unseld Jr. coming from Denver, I will hope he can bring some, him and the rest of the Wizards coaching staff can bring some defensive intensity to the team. Our next prediction comes from @Marquise. He says, @Marquise_. He says, kind of a bold prediction, but the Wizards will either be 6th or 5th seed. I don't think that's too bold of a prediction. Like I said before in one of the previous predictions, if the Wizards get that 6th seed, they avoid that play-in game. That will be sweet. I think 5th seed, that'll be tough. 6th seed, I think it's possible, but we all know that 4 through 8th is always kind of meshed together in the Eastern Conference. Usually, sometimes that 4th seed kind of separates themselves a little bit, but for the most part, that 4th through 8th seed, it's always interchangeable. The teams are always changing throughout the season on who gets hot, who gets cold. So 5th, 6th seed is possible. You can, depending on how you view the Wizards, you can definitely say that's a bold prediction. Our next prediction comes from @BigDap_. He says the Wizards are 7th or 8th seed, and Dinwiddie and Brad goes to the All-Star game, and Brad has another All-Pro year with less stress defensively. Like I said previously, I think it's tough for Spencer and Beal to get to the All-Star game if they're just hovering around that 7th, 8th seed range. That's not good enough to get both of them in my opinion, unless Spencer Dinwiddie is tearing it up. He's just going crazy. Because Brad's probably going to get in. Brad's going to get in. Not probably. Brad's going to make it to the All-Star game again. To get 2 Wizards in there, because, Russell Westbrook didn't even get in last year. It was just Brad. Russ didn't even get in. So I think Spencer got to be going crazy, or the Wizards, they can't be hanging around that 7th or 8th seed for both of them to get in. And as far as the Bradley Beal All-Pro year, definitely obtainable again. Our next prediction comes from @Wizards7. He says we make the playoffs, Dinwiddie goes to the All-Star game. Now, I don't know if that's playoffs as far as just no play-in. We're just solidified in there. We got a spot. We don't got to do no playing talk. If that's the case and they're hovering around that 4th, 5th seed all season, it's very possible, like I said before, that Spencer gets into the All-Star game. Next prediction, at Cam Curl DPOY. He says the Wizards' record will be 41-41. That is straight up 500. I feel like that. I feel like a lot of people can predict that. I think the Wizards will be can be a little better than 41-41. I don't blame him for thinking 41-41. That's pretty average. And if you look at the Wizards' roster and say that's a pretty average roster, you may get 41-41. So we'll see how that turns out. Our next prediction, at Mr_Lawson to you. He says 44-38. So a little bit higher than 41-41 in our last prediction. I can agree with this. I can get with this. 44-38. I think that's realistic. I think that's, no bias. I think that's a very realistic record for the Wizards. Our next prediction is at by Taz. He said Corey Kispert and Bertans make the 3-point contest. So that's 2 Wizards that's making it to the 3-point contest. Bertans, if he going off again, very possible he gets the invitation. Corey Kispert, it all depends on his playing time. If he's not playing, he's not going to be able to do it. But if he's getting consistent minutes and he's stroking, very possible. Very possible. At Halo 104 of, he says Bradley Beal top 5 MVP. If Bradley Beal's top 5 in the MVP voting, I think 1, he's going to have to be doing his normal thing, scoring and stuff like that. 2, I think what a lot of people want to see is him improve defensively, which means the whole Wizards team as a whole will be improved defensively. So if he can score like he usually does while adding better defense and the Wizards have a good record, very possible for him to be top 5 in MVP voting. Very possible. Our next prediction from at Granowish20. He says, I want to see Denny have a line something like this in year 2. 10-5-4. I don't think it's that far from possible. 10-5-4. I mean, it all depends on the playing time. How consistent will his minutes be? I think he comes off the bench. Can he average 10-5-4 coming off of the bench? I think the 5 and 4 part are obtainable. 10, I would love to see him average 10. But he may average like 8, maybe. Do it like an 8-6-4 type of thing. And our last prediction is from at GOAT77728. He says simply making the playoffs. And I think that's a good prediction to end it off on anyway. I think making the playoffs is realistic. I think the Wizards can make the playoffs. I personally think the Wizards will make the playoffs. So I agree with that prediction. Do you guys have any predictions? Let me know in the comment section. As always, follow, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Help support the channel. And let me know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm going to be responding to the comments and all of that good stuff. So until next time, guys. Peace.